Have you been looking to trade one of your kidneys for something cool? Well, I have the truck for you. I'll include a link to the Ram here in Riverdale's website in the description down below. Also include a link to my car buying guide. Let's take a look at this truck. Under the hood, we have the new high output Cummins. It's a 6.7 liter turbo diesel inline 6. It goes through an 8-speed now. It puts out 430 horsepower and then 1,075 pound-feet of torque. I'm trying to hit 500,000 subscribers before the end of the year. I'd really appreciate it if you'd help out with that. Now from the factory, we've got cab lights, and this one has the Night Edition package. You've got the Sport hood. Now as part of the AEV kit, you've got this giant brush guard with lights integrated. It also integrates parking sensors, you've got the fog lights and these huge recovery points. And if that wasn't enough, it also has a winch. And while we're down here, we've got diff covers front and rear for added protection. When you put all the elements together, this is one cool looking truck. Tire and wheel setup is 40 by 13.5 by 18. Yes, this has 40s. And you've got these special Salta AEV wheels. And BFG calls these an HD terrain tire. This package also comes with the 8100 series shocks from Bilstein with the remote reservoir. You've got the dual RT suspension on top of that. That's how the truck is lifted. You also have the fender flares that are nicely integrated with that front bumper. An AEV Prospector XL badge. And don't worry, it's got power side steps. Not too hard to get into. But if we take a few steps back, you can see this thing looks crazy. And yes, this is built off of a mega cab. It keeps getting better and better. I think those have to be some of the biggest mud flaps on a factory truck. Now, if we take a look at the bed, you can see we actually have protection from the factory, but the main thing is the tire. You have a full-size spare in the bed. It's a 40, it's kind of the best place to put it. This also has AEV's rear bumper with lights integrated and tons of protection. Parking sensors too, by the way. Diff cover in the rear, but yeah, look at this departure angle. This is quite aggressive. That will cap things off for the exterior. Let me know your thoughts, but I think this looks epic for a pickup truck. Now, I do briefly want to show you guys the back. AEV there in the headrest, and this is built off the Laramie, so you've got the upgraded leather seats. But the biggest thing is this is the mega cab, so you've got more space here in the rear. You can fold the seats flat into the floor as well. Let's now check out the front. AEV has added all the proper stickers to be compliant, by the way, but I know you guys are going to wonder on payload. It's built off a 2500, so 1,255 pounds of payload. There is a lot of added weight with the bumpers and everything else. AEV in the headrest, and then the rest of this is just kind of like a loaded up Laramie interior. So you've got stuff like the digital gauge cluster, the giant infotainment system, and if you're wondering, we've got a part-time four-wheel drive system. This doesn't have a rear locking differential, but you can take any Ram HD and take it to AEV and have them throw this kit on it. So if you wanted to take a Rebel that has the rear locker and have this kit, you can do that. This leads us to the pricing. So you guys can see Prospector XL, the base price on top of the stock price of $90,600 for this loaded up Laramie. $22,875, comes with quite a bit. This one does have upgrades like the 8100 series shocks, which are specifically tuned for this truck. But you can see all the stuff's been added. $132,263. I did say it would cost a kidney, didn't I? Let's see how it performs. Let's set off. Now, I will say this right now. I don't need a pickup truck, but if I ever did, one of these would be so tempting. And I know people are going to gawk at the payload. The Ram 2500 has horrible payload right out of the base. And this is a mega cab with all the features. It doesn't have it actually does have a sunroof. So from the factory, this already probably only had a payload of like 1,700 pounds maybe. So it's the base truck, just doesn't have a ton of payload capacity. AEV does different sets of springs for a lot of their vehicles. I'm not sure in these HD trucks. I should have checked before I did this review. But on a lot of their vehicles, like the Wrangler that I just reviewed, you can get either light duty or heavy duty springs. And the heavy duty springs increase the payload a little bit, so they might offer that on this truck. I don't know. But anyways, let's just see how this thing performs. Because man, does it look cool. Like really, really cool, if you ask me. And that is one thing that I really appreciate about what AEV does is they don't just focus on practicality, they also focus on looks. And you know, most aftermarket companies, they just focus on looks and not practicality. So it's like you get a nice blend where things are very practical and they look really good. Like I think something that's like a good example of just focusing on practicality is like ARB. Like their stuff is just all about practicality, but it doesn't necessarily look as good. Now this completely transforms how this truck drives. It's a completely different truck than stock. Obviously the 40s, and let's see what pressure they're at. So almost 70 PSI. The 40s are going to change things quite a bit. And, you know, depending on what pressure you have in these tires is going to massively impact ride quality. Now, you don't want to do super low pressure with 40s on road because, you know, that's going to be grabbing quite a bit. Again, these are tall, these are wide. But off-road, I mean, you can imagine you air these down to like 20 PSI, 17 PSI, it'll be like floating on a cloud. So that would be such a cool experience. Man, this thing just feels like a tank. It is so big. And it's not a bad thing. It feels cool. I'm like, man, I am driving a real truck today. It's really cool. Man, this is random, but this is a cool property. You got like a little horse pasture, got a little barn. That's fun. Not a lot of that left in Utah. Everyone's selling out to do subdivisions, which I understand, good money in that, but it's sad to see properties like that disappear because they're cool. Man, this drives so well. And this new high output Cummins, I mean, before the, you know, the Cummins that was in the 2500 with the 68 RFE, that was fine in terms of power delivery. It was still smooth, it was still good with low end torque. This is on a whole nother level. Oh man, that's crazy. Again, tires not aired down. This is you gotta remember, this is a solid axle HD vehicle. Should not be comfortable through something like that. Not only is it comfortable, but it handles it great. That is so cool. I'm seriously very, very impressed with this. This is a neat rig. And by the way, I don't film up here very often, so I'm still trying to figure out a driving route. I don't exactly know where I'm going, what I'm doing. I will figure all of that out in time, but this should probably work. Like, this has 40s. This has 40s. And it moves them like they don't exist. Crazy torque. This is such a cool truck. Now, obviously, we're on road, so I can't put this in low range. But you could imagine this thing in low range. I mean, game over. That would be crazy. The torque that you, like the gearing, the torque and everything in low range, just absolute insanity. Again, I'm just like barely in the throttle and this thing's just boom. Seriously impressive. Seriously impressive. So, conclusions with this AEV Prospector XL. This thing's cool. This thing's really cool. Obviously, tons of clearance, tons of torque, and everything's done excellently. Again, you have to remember, AEV spends a ton of time on making sure that everything is well put together so that it's durable and again, practical. Practicality is king with this. Oh, that's where I was supposed to turn. I was like, I think that's where I'm supposed to turn. We'll keep going. But yeah, it's definitely a lot of money to spend on a truck, but understand a few things. Ram is typically doing some deals on trucks. So, you know, on the base truck itself, you gotta remember there's the AEV package and then there's the truck itself. You can probably get some discount on the truck itself, right? At minimum. So that'll help out a little bit, right? And you're also paying for quality. And may I remind you, I reviewed the Shelby Super Baja, right? That's on the Ford, that's made by Tuscany. And that's a cool package, but it's more expensive and it doesn't give you... Gosh, the torque is insane in this. It doesn't really give you more than what this has. Like this has everything that you would want. This is such a crazy truck, guys. This is... You could literally just drive over, like this is an actual like factory monster truck. You could drive over anything. Let me know your thoughts on the Prospector XL, but with the new high output Cummins, this has got to be one of the coolest off-road rigs that you can buy today.